on and on about the efficacy of this vaccination.
I could go on and on and on in the direction as well. We could have a running debate on this, and we can do that if the chair chooses.
We will not have a running debate. Dr. Morris will come through me on this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, follow-up question. I would ask you to do that then. Can you give me any quote or report from the American Academy of Pediatricians, American Cancer Society, Nation's Health, that speaks, or from any journal, medical journal, that says that that questions the efficacy of this human papillomavirus, which you said you could do a moment ago?
There have been, I have, in some comments that I've made on the House floor and could make again, I have cited from the New England Journal of Medicine. I've cited from a Gail Javed, MD of Law and Policy, at the Director at Genetics and Public Policy in Washington, D.C. She was also a research scientist at the Berman Institute of Bioethics at Johns Hopkins University. Dina Berkowitz, an assistant professor of pediatrics at George Washington University. Lawrence Gostin, associate dean for research and academic programs. The National Council of State Legislators, and all sorts of different folks that have, and even people that worked on the vaccine that said, slow down, and they also were not all in agreement about mandating the vaccine.
One question, Mr. Chairman. So that I understand you clearly, are you saying that the New England Journal of Medicine, which I would agree is one of the preeminent journals associated with medicine and methodology in this country, are you saying that they opined that this vaccination, the efficacy of this vaccination is questionable?
I am saying that I have information that questioned the vaccine, and I'm not prepared right at this moment. I will be prepared to answer that question for you, but I'm not prepared right at this moment to be as exactly what you're asking me here to say.
Follow-up question, Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Marcy, how far you want to go down this line? I think from some of the authors that you cited, I think it might be a fair statement to say that there are significant valid ethical issues around this vaccination that have been raised in medical journals and in the literature.
One final question.
Dr. Marcy.
Delegate, are you aware of the number of incidents of cervical cancer each year that young women, documented instances of cervical cancer that young women are exposed to each year in the country, not just the Commonwealth?
This is not a debate about any type of cancer. There are many cancers. My mother recently passed away from cancer, so I really don't want to go down that medical direction either.
Delegate Morris, do you have another question?
I do. Is there one particular vaccination that you question more than another?
Once again, parents should make the decision. I'm not getting into the medical. I'm not a doctor, and you're not a doctor. I don't want to be making those decisions.
All right, thank you. That concludes your question.
Thank
you. Dr. Sproul?
This is Dr. Burnham in the audience.
This one?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mr.
Let me...
Mr. Chairman, I can have doctors in attendance as well if we need to. Once again, I don't think we need to go.
Well, if you want to ask a question to Kathy, I think that's fine. I think we'll then get pros and cons from folks.
How many times have you worked before the General Assembly?
Excuse me?
How many times have you worked before this body?
How many times?
Me? Because there's been other legislators as well.
Yes, ma'am.
I think at least two. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. We brought it out, and then the governor amended it because of all the concerns. There were several of us, as you may recall, and that was at Delegate Peace's direction. I'd like to say thank you, Delegate Peace. Amended it in order to get some consensus on it. It wasn't exactly what everyone wanted, but it was better than what we had. It's gotten national attention. It's something that I've continued fighting for. Some things may take years to get approved. I hope this is the year it does.
Mr. Chairman, this is why I asked, because I heard some question about the risk of safety, and I have one to sit down to answer one question. That was my concern.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
If not, to answer the question, I'm done.
All right.
One question I want to ask the doctor for the safety.
All right. Why don't we just allow you to go ahead and do that line over this building?
Please.
Someone would like to answer that question? Ma'am, you may have.
It's the question, so you got politicians, I'm going to ask a question. My concern was, it went up to us at least a couple of times or others. Is there a safety risk or harm to the young folks in this medical?
Please identify yourself and be glad to have you answer the question.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Michelle Vickman. I am an obstetrician and gynecologist, and I am a director of medical affairs at Merck Vaccines. I am here today to discuss the safety of the vaccine, not to give any comment on the current bill. The CDC of the United States, as well as numerous regulatory authorities around the world, have performed numerous analyses on the safety of the HPV vaccine known as Gardasil. The safety has been reaffirmed with numerous analyses. We also, as a company, aside from several large government analyses, we perform our own what are called post-marketing surveillance analyses, including analyses with the Kaiser Family Foundation and other regulatory agencies around the world. And we have really ascertained that the safety of this vaccine has been well established.
Thank you. That's my question.
I just want to follow up on that. The FDA has a vaccine adverse event reporting system. Are you familiar with that,
Absolutely.
Mr. Paul? And are there any deaths that have been directly attributed to Gardasil that's already listed in the FDA's system?
No, according to the CDC evaluation, which was most recently updated in October of 2011, these deaths have not been associated with the vaccine. They have not been shown to be caused by the vaccine.
Mr. Chairman, the only data that I have, that I've been given is that there's 71 deaths that have been attributed to, and I guess perhaps I'm using the wrong language, and perhaps I just need to go check my sources. And I guess my final question: are there any lives that have, Mr. Chairman, are there any lives that have been proven to have been saved by Gardasil?
At this point, the vaccine prevents cervical precancers, which can lead to cancers. We have a wide database which shows that there is a reduction of those precancers due to the long lag time from the time of infection to the time of development of cervical cancer. It will take some time before we see a reduction in deaths related to cervical cancer, but today we have data on reduction of those precancers.
Thank you.
Just in the interest of factual accuracy, you all make Gardasil here in Virginia?
Yes, sir. I believe we have a plant here in Virginia.
And when at the time that this vaccine first came on the market, is it accurate that Merck heavily marketed that vaccine to the state?
As a part of the medical team, the marketing practices of the company are not under my purview.
Okay.